Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Yalla Deals Podcast. My name's Adam, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic, which is to save on your energy bills. I've written about this topic on the blog, so if you're interested, you can read about it. But this podcast will discuss some of the things I've mentioned earlier in detail, and I'm excited to share these things with you guys. The other day, I was thinking about this myself. I live in an apartment in Dubai, and I was thinking, how can I save on my energy bills? I've got these bills coming in every month, and the electricity and water and all these kind of things. How do I save on these energy bills? And I was surprised by the sheer amount of information out there when it comes to saving on your bills. You will be surprised to see some of the things mentioned on the blog and some of the things that I'm going to mention in today's episode. So you know that it's the hot, sizzling summer season in Dubai, and temperatures in the UAE are soaring. When I say soaring, they can reach all the way up to 48 and even 50 degrees Celsius. But it's not just the temperatures that go up in the summer. I think you've guessed it. Your energy bill also balloons up as well. So when your temperatures rise, your energy bills are at the highest as well. And the UAE is one of the world's largest per capita consumers. But the good news is the UAE government has planned strategies to conserve resources over the years, increase water and electricity consumption efficiency, and develop and promote renewable energy sources such as solar power. Now, there is the DEWA Smart Initiative, the Smart Shems Initiative, and I remember I was part of that initiative a couple of years ago when I was working with a company that was designing solar projects. The DRRG, the Distributed Renewable Resources Generators, a very interesting topic if you want to look into that. So if you want to have renewable energy in your home and you're living in Dubai, you can contact one of these companies that can do this kind of work for you. But today we're going to be talking about how to lower your energy bill. And by the way, lowering your energy bill is beneficial for both the environment and your finances. We all know that precious resources are not going to last forever. And you all know about global warming. I mean, for the love of God, just turn on the news and see what's going on. Fires and hurricanes and droughts and extreme weather. All of that happening because of global warming. So I think by lowering your energy bill, you would feel kind of proud because you are contributing to the environment as well. So it's a win-win situation for both you and the environment. Now, DEWA has extensive guidelines on its website to lower your energy bills. If you're interested to see these guidelines, just click on the link mentioned in the description below. They have a complete list of general tips. And if you consider retrofitting, which is the process of replacing components or systems to improve efficiency and performance, you can view their extensive handbook. I mean, it has so much information, you guys. You won't believe how much information there is. And some of it is very technical. And if you actually want a DIY energy efficiency survey that you can fill out for your home or business, I've also left the link in the description. This is endorsed by DEWA, and it can help you assess your energy consumption. The first thing to keep in mind is that electricity usage is measured in kilowatt hours, kWh. So if you want to get a bit more technical, when you calculate the energy use for an appliance or system, you can calculate its daily kilowatt hours. You do this by multiplying the hours you use the appliance per day by its wattage. So once you get the kilowatt hours, you multiply that by a number, which is 0.01. And with this method, you can calculate how much an appliance or device costs to operate each month if you can determine its wattage and average usage time. Now, if you don't want to deal with such technicality, you can always check the energy labels on your appliances from the Emirates Authority for Standardization and Metrology, ESMA. These kind of labels, these kind of energy efficiency labels can be found on most household appliances, such as refrigerators and tumble dryers. So make sure you check out those labels before you buy these kind of appliances as well. Let's talk about energy consumption and how you can monitor your energy consumption. Keeping an eye on your daily and monthly water and electricity consumption is crucial. Of course, you know about the basics like turning off the lights that you don't use, especially in rooms where you will not spend considerable time. You should also check for water leakage around the house, including faulty faucets. The good thing about Deewa's Smart Living dashboard, and I love it, it has charts and graphs for your consumption, along with the ability to track your consumption. Actually, Deewa has this great feature called High Water Usage Alert, and it's activated by default if you have a smart meter installed in your premises. Probably you do, because most of these meters in Dubai now are smart meters. And this feature can come in handy because you would know if there's internal water leakage. Customers who have smart water meters installed in their premises, they can receive the high water usage alert. And this service is available automatically for all residential and commercial and industrial premises. So just imagine this. You're, let's say, traveling away from your house and there was a horrible leakage. And by the way, that happened. Wait until I tell you my story. These kind of things can happen. Imagine you just receive an alert and the alert says that your water consumption is 300 or 500% of your normal usage. You know that something is wrong. And that happened to me once, by the way. I got one of these alerts from Deewa telling me that my water consumption was 300%. I called Deewa. You can request a technician to come and inspect your water. So the guy came, he inspected the connections, and the report finally said that I have something called cross connection. So another apartment was sharing my water and I was paying for their water. So you see, this kind of feature, these kind of features are really helpful to have in your house. And that is available from Deewa by default. Now let's talk a little bit about leakage disasters. I remember once waking up at 3 a.m. and I was in an apartment in Dubai. And as soon as I got up, I put my feet on the floor and I felt my feet getting completely soaked. I got up. I felt like I was walking in a swimming pool. The house turned into a swimming pool. It was unbelievable how much water there was. At first, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I thought that the water might be electrocuted because if the water reaches those adapters, those power outlets, it would cause a huge mess and it'll be dangerous to walk in this water. After mustering up the courage to investigate and move around the house, which turned into, the biggest indoor swimming pools, I later realized the problem. One of the pipes burst, and by the way, in Arabic, we call this the shattaf. Be careful of this pipe because it's notorious for bursting. And because the bathroom's manhole was closed, the water seeped into all of the rooms in the house, and that's why the house turned into a swimming pool. And here's a quick advice for you. Always keep your manhole cover open, because if you don't, and God forbid there's a leakage, or if one of the pipes burst in your bathroom, the water's not going to be drained. It's going to seep into all of the rooms in the house, and it's going to cause a disaster. And it was a disaster for me. So anyway, the point is, Deewa has a lot of smart features, the high water usage alert, and they also have another nice feature called the away mode. And it can alert you of your daily or weekly consumption if anyone else stays in your house. Let's say you're traveling and you want to know if anyone's using the electricity. You can get daily, weekly, or monthly alerts for that. Deewa also launched something called the Smart Living Initiative in July 2020, and that can help you monitor your electricity and water consumption. The initiative has achieved savings of more than 179.5 million kilowatt hours of electricity, according to Deewa, and 67.7 million gallons of water. So this Smart Living Initiative has several useful features such as the away mode, high water usage alert, and you can also compare your consumption with similar homes around you or near you. So if you want all that information, you can visit the Deewa link that I've left in the description below. All right, guys, now let's talk about the real or the biggest energy culprits. The biggest energy culprits that drain your energy in your home. Now, many people don't know which appliances or devices consume the most energy in their homes, and their energy consumption is displayed on the bill as a total amount. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could all see a detailed breakdown of energy consumption for appliances and systems to develop a more effective energy strategy? Unfortunately, that kind of monitoring technology is not available with standard power solutions. But here's what you need to know. Your AC, your tumble dryer, and your water heater. These are the biggest energy guzzlers in your home. And according to Deewa, Peak times for electricity and water loads in the UAE are from 12 to 5 p.m. So if you want to, let's say, do your laundry, I don't recommend doing your laundry between 12 to 5 because that is the most expensive time. That's the peak time for electricity and water loads in the UAE. DEWA's breakdown for residential electricity use shows that HVAC systems, ACs, account for a whopping 75% of all energy use. Lighting is a mere 10%, whereas others, including home appliances, account for 15%. I'm surprised at how people think. They think that lighting is the most important. No, lighting is not the most important thing, although, of course, I don't advocate for turning on the lights all the time. The biggest energy guzzlers in your house are your AC, your tumble dryer, and your water heaters. And your AC consumes 75% of your energy needs. Lighting is just 10%, you guys. So pay attention to this. Your AC is the biggest culprit, and also your water heaters. Now let's talk about the air conditioning. And I want to give some tips on air conditioning and how to reduce your energy bills when it comes to ACs. So the most obvious tip that we can start with is switching it off. You can switch off your AC when you're out of the house. Of course, don't do that when you're in the house because you can't survive in this hot weather. The temperatures in the summer are so high, I don't think anyone can survive without the AC. So switch it off when you leave the house. Don't keep any of your ACs on in the house. That's number one. Number two, what I like to call unused is misused. The same thing applies to switching off the ACs in rooms that are not being used. 24 is the best score. I like how I came up with these things that rhyme. Meaning that DEWA recommends setting the thermostat to 24 degrees Celsius in the summer for best results. Now, for me personally, I find it a little bit uncomfortable. 24 is a little bit hot for me, so I set the temperature to 23. Some people might even find 23 to be hot. They might set it to 22. But I think that 23 is the optimum temperature. Find what works for you, but remember that the colder you set your thermostat, the more energy it uses and the higher your energy bill. Keep that in mind. Each degree increase in setting your thermostat temperatures can save up to 5% on AC consumption. Now, the next thing is something I like as well, and I'm using in my house because I'm lucky to have fans around my house. The first time I saw the fans in the apartment, I thought, why do you need fans, man? You just turn on the AC. But it turns out that fans are very useful if you have a ceiling fan. So if you have a fan, you can use it more often. Turn it off before leaving, though. To balance comfort and energy savings, I like to use a mix of AC and fans by setting the AC to auto or using the AC in one room instead of many ACs in the house by combining them. So I combine them with the fans. So I keep the AC on auto and I turn on the fan if the temperature is bearable. If it's not, you can keep the AC on at the lowest level, like level 1, for example, and turn on your fan. That's going to make the room colder and you don't consume that much energy. Insulate to encapsulate. Man, these are so cool, these rhyming words. You can try weather stripping doors and windows to prevent air leakage. Now, I won't recommend this for rooms with split units since the fresh air can't seep into the doors and windows, and actually some of the ACs, central ACs as well, they are not connected to chillers, or they may not have district cooling. Maybe this is not a great thing to do, but it might help a lot with people that want to keep their rooms cold or cool. So this is helpful if you have central ACs with freshly circulated air. But I actually have found out that my ACs have no freshly circulated air. It's actually the same air circulated over and over again. So then I guess I have to open the windows all the time to let some fresh air come in. But anyway, now you know that if you insulate the windows and doors, that can prevent the hot air from coming in. Auto is your new motto. Ensure your air conditioning unit is set to auto rather than on most of the time. This process will regulate the room temperature more effectively. If your AC's filter is clogged or dirty, by the way, I got mine cleaned recently, my AC filter, the airflow can be affected if that happens, and its efficiency may be reduced significantly. DEWA recommends cleaning your AC filters periodically or at least twice a year. If you have a programmable thermostat, that's also great because programmable or intelligent thermostats can regulate room temperatures and AC operation duration, so that decreases the energy consumed by your AC as well. And finally, maintenance. So make sure your AC is in tip-top condition. That means you should hire a professional maintenance company to perform periodic checkups, or you can just ask the landlord to send their maintenance company or the developer, and they can ensure that the AC filters are clean, the electrical wirings are working correctly, the thermostat is working correctly, your refrigerant levels are in the right amounts. I once had an AC problem where my thermostat was not working properly. Actually, the AC was always too cold. I felt like I was living in Siberia or something. Every night I was freezing cold, and no matter what temperature I set the AC to, even if it's hotter temperatures, it would still be freezing cold, and it turned out to be the thermostat was not working properly, and my energy bill was so high. I called the landlord, and I asked for the maintenance to come, and the maintenance, in the end, they fixed the problem. If you don't fix these kind of problems, you might end up with more expensive problems, by the way, especially during the summer. Finally, there's something I want to talk about ACs, which is something that I've researched as well earlier, called the SEER value. And this is very interesting because a lot of people don't know what the SEER value is, including AC technicians. Can you believe that? People working in an electromechanical company, they have no idea what a SEER value is, but it's out there and it's real, and it's a critical value that measures air conditioning and heat pump cooling efficiency, and it stands for the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. So before you buy an AC for your house or your business, or before making a new house, building a new house with a central AC, always make sure to check this value first. If you have a higher SEER value, that means that you have a more energy efficient AC in your premises. And it's calculated, this SEER value is calculated by dividing the cooling output for a typical cooling season by the total electric energy input during the same time frame. So a higher SEER value means greater energy efficiency. Make sure that your AC unit has a minimum SEER value of 14.5 BTUs per watt hours, British thermal units per watt hours. So that is actually the minimum standard by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency in the US. Now, DEWA recommends AC units or AC SEER values above 13 BTU per watt hours, but the EPA recommends 14.5. So the higher the SEER value that you have, the better and the more energy efficient your AC is going to be. Now, if you want to determine the tonnage of your existing AC unit, that was kind of tricky. I had to do this for different AC units. I was trying to determine the tonnage for these AC units. You can divide the nominal capacity by 12, because 1 ton is equal to 12,000 BTUs per hour. So suppose you have an existing AC unit on your house. Let's say it can be found on the roof for most centralized AC units with a SEER value of 10, which is below the recommended standard of 13 by DEWA and 14.5 by the EPA. This means that your AC unit is less energy efficient by a whopping 32%. Can you believe that? So I think one of the most important things you can do, if you can, is to find out what is your SEER value for your air conditioning unit. And if you can change your AC, that'll be even better. If you can't, I guess there's nothing you can do about it. For more information about SEER values, I've also left a link in the description below from a Wikipedia article that talks about the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Now we're going to move on to water. And water is a precious source. And we all know that we have to be saving a lot of water. Now, there are saving tips that you can find directly from DEWA's website on your water appliances and irrigation and bathrooms. And I'm going to read out to you a few of these tips directly from DEWA. So these are not from me, these are from DEWA. So let me read out some of them to you. First of all, dishwashers. DEWA recommends that you only run your dishwasher when full to make the best use of water, energy, and detergent. Also, when you purchase a new dishwasher, consider purchasing one with a high ESMA energy efficiency ratio of 5 or 4 stars at least. As for washing machines, these are really great tips, you guys. You just have to read these tips on DEWA's website and on our blog. If you have a washing machine, let's say an automatic washing machine, Wait till you have a full load of laundry before running the machine. This way, you can save both water and energy. If you can't wait for a full load, use the proper water level to match the size of the load. When you purchase a new washing machine, consider purchasing one with a high ESMA energy efficiency ratio, again, 5 or 4 stars. Reduce the temperature at which your washing machine operates as well. You know, I was doing my laundry yesterday, speaking of reducing the temperature, and I realized something, you guys. I don't think you need boiling temperatures like 90 degrees Celsius to be washing all of your clothes. Maybe if you want to wash the delicates, fine. If you want to like make sure that they're sanitized or disinfected properly with the high temperatures. But here's the thing, you guys. In this country, in the summer, if you turn on the faucet, the water is already hot. I suspect the water is at around 40 degrees Celsius. So I don't think you need to make the water any hotter. So try to use colder temperatures for washing your clothes if you want to. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, that can also reduce your energy bills. Dryers, by the way, consume a lot of electricity. Tumble dryers. I've got one in my house as well. And I don't turn on my dryer between 12 to 5 p.m. usually because I'm at work. Or even on the weekends, I don't do that. It's best to do that early in the morning or in the evening to avoid peak times. And by the way, Diwa says that you can take advantage of sunshine and hang your clothes to dry, but it's just personal preference. For me, I don't like to do that because sometimes there's a lot of dust or a lot of stuff going on outside. And not just that, the time factor is important. I want my clothes to dry pretty fast, so I just end up using the dryer, which is more convenient for me. So maybe that does not work for everyone. But the point is, if you have a dryer, try to use it during the times that are not peak times. Next, we've got showers and kitchen faucets. So you can install a water-efficient shower head with a flow rate of less than 8 liters per minute. You can check the flow rate by putting a glass of a container or something, and you can see how long it takes to fill up that container. You can turn off the water when brushing your teeth. I kind of admit I'm guilty of doing this. I forget to turn off the water when I'm brushing my teeth, and it's a bad habit, and I'm trying to do this myself. I'm trying to turn off the faucet when I'm brushing my teeth. Actually, the best thing to do is to pour water in a glass and keep that glass in the bathroom. You know, you can wash your teeth with this when you finish brushing your teeth or even shaving. So you can save more than 5 gallons or 19 liters per day if you do that. Clean vegetables in a bowl partially filled with water rather than running water from the tap, considering all health issues, by the way. Reuse the water for plants at your home. That's also very, very environmentally friendly. So that's very good advice. If you want to wash your vegetables, if you have some food that you want to wash, you can do that by putting the water, filling the bowl with water and then putting the vegetables in there. That will save a lot of water. Next, toilets. Now, the good news is that new toilet models use up to 6 liters of water per flush. So they save about 6 liters per flush compared to older models, because older models were not very efficient. So that results in an annual water saving of around 10,000 liters per person. This is all according to DEWA, by the way. Check toilets periodically for leaks and repair them promptly. That's important. If your toilet is leaking, make sure that you fix it, because that's going to be, that's just such a waste. It's going to be wasting water. Check your toilets and make sure that they don't leak. Now, water heaters and water coolers. Like we said, water heaters are one of the biggest energy culprits, so make sure that you switch off those water heaters during the summer. I mean, I always do that. I switch it off during the summer. Why do you need a water heater during the summer, man? You don't need water heaters during the summer. The water itself is hot, but some people do like to switch it on. I mean, my wife likes to switch it on even during the summer because she likes boiling water, and maybe some other people like boiling water as well to take showers with. So it all boils down to personal preference. So, but if you want to switch on your water heater, even during the summer, whether during the summer or during winter, just switch it off when you're done. That can save a ton of energy. That can save up to 50% of your water heating and cooling energy consumption. If you want to purchase a new water heater, it is advisable to buy solar water heaters if possible. Now, let's say if you have a villa or something like that, it's advisable to buy a solar water heater. Or you can buy an electric water heater with a top rating of 5 or 4 stars approved by ESMA. And then we can talk a little bit about general watering. So you can water your plants before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. to reduce evaporation losses. That's also smart, because if you water them during the day, the water will evaporate pretty fast. And if you do it before 8 a.m. or after 6 p.m., you can reduce that evaporation loss. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Shower instead of taking a bath. You know what, guys? I think they should start banning bathtubs. Now, for all the bathtub community out there, please don't go crazy. I know that some people like to relax in a bathtub after a long day. They want to unwind, fill up that tub, and take a long, relaxing bath. But the problem is, you guys, with all the global warming and all the environmental problems and all the energy consumption going on, the most efficient way to wash to wash yourself is to take a shower instead of taking a bath. Taking a quick shower rather than a bath can actually save you an average of 20 gallons of water per day. 20 gallons! That's 76 liters of water. I mean, come on, you guys. Taking a bath is incredibly wasteful. And I'm sorry if I'm offending all the bathtub community people out there, but it's true. If you take a shower, it's much better, and it's much better for the environment. It's much better for your finances as well. You can also use the microwave oven instead of your main oven to save more energy. Now let's talk a little bit about electricity, and there's something important that you need to know about, which is called the phantom power. We're not talking about some superhero here. Phantom, we call it phantom power, vampire power, idle power, whatever kind of power that will suck you dry. Vampire power. So phantom power or load refers to this electricity that is consumed or actually wasted by connected devices that are switched off or in standby mode. According to a joint study by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, and several other environmental agencies around the globe, phantom power can cost you up to 10% of your monthly energy bill. Can you believe that? All that energy being sucked away. So to save all that energy, you can turn off any devices that are not being used, like coffee makers, microwave ovens, computers, clocks. I know this might sound a little bit inconvenient because these devices, maybe you like to keep them on standby mode. Maybe you have a lot of smart appliances in your home. However, if you turn them off, you can save about 10% of your energy bill. Can you believe that? If this study is accurate by the EPA. In short, you can turn off anything that has an on-off switch that is not being used. And finally, let's talk a little bit about lighting. Now, although lighting takes about 10 or 15% of your energy bill, it's a good idea to consume it more efficiently. So here's what you can do. The most obvious thing to do is to replace your incandescent lights with LED lights. LED stands for light emitting diode, and I think a lot of people know what LED lights are by now. So you can use these efficient lights for indoor and outdoor lighting because of their longer lifespan, higher efficiency, and less heat, because they generate less heat as well. So clean your light bulbs regularly because dirt limits diffusion of light, and that decreases illumination. Turn off unnecessary lights and use natural lighting as much as possible in places that are not exposed directly to sunlight during the summer. That's good. You can also use timers or motion detectors to control the light's operation wherever applicable. And finally, you can install dimmers to control the brightness of lights and reduce energy consumption. For me personally, I replaced all my existing 60-watt incandescent lights in my apartment with this incredible 8-watt energy-efficient LED light from a brand called Electrolux. But you can find great alternatives. So many options available from Philips, General Electric, and so many others. Just imagine this. LED lights are up to 85% more efficient than conventional bulbs. This means that each LED lamp can save you up to 1,000 dirhams over its lifetime. And they can also live for tens of thousands of hours, up to 50,000 hours of usage. They generate less heat than traditional light bulbs, which ultimately reduces your cooling load. Bottom line is, say goodbye to incandescent lighting, the traditional 60-watt wasteful bulb, unless you still want to be a wasteful dinosaur. Join the efficient, money-saving future with LED lighting technology. You know, I won't be surprised in the future if cities all around the world, including Dubai, start banning incandescent lights due to their wasteful nature. If you do buy LED lights, some of the brands also offer you a cool option. You can change the lighting color however you like if you have LED lights. But before you go out and start buying LED lights, make sure you know the size and type of your lighting fixture. For instance, most houses have the fitting or cap type E27. Make sure that you know what type of fitting you have for your bulb. You can take out your bulb, see what type it is. It's usually written on the bulb, and then you can go ahead and purchase new energy efficient LED lights. Before you do that, guys, you gotta know what is the color temperature you want. Are you comfortable with yellowish color or more white color? Do you want white or yellow? I prefer mine to be white, so mine is around 6500. That is the color temperature. You can also go for more yellowish options, so that's gonna be less than 65. And finally, how many lumens do you want, or how many lumens does the bulb have? Try to get bulbs that are at least 700 lumens to ensure bright lighting. Some of the bulbs are not bright, so make sure you read that on the specifications, how many lumens this bulb has. So with all these energy tips, you guys, you can shrink down your energy bill and prevent it from ballooning up ever again, especially during the summer. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and have a great day.